Welcome to the Huskers podcast.
All right, what's up, everybody? It is March 25th at 8 o'clock on the evening. It is Pro Day today. We've got a very special guest that's joining us tonight who needs no introduction, but we'll introduce him very shortly here. Kenny Bell is in the house. We're thrilled to have Kenny joining us straight from Hurrdat. Before we kick things off, I want to make sure we hit up a couple quick announcements. We've got some exciting things going on here coming your direction. So Pipeline Jerky, Kenny, I don't know if you tried Pipeline Jerky. If you have not, we got to send you some. So we are the creators of Pipeline Jerky, which is, for those who don't know, go to pipeline-jerky.com. Every purchase directly supports the boys up front, NIL opportunity directly with the offensive line. We got to get 10 new ones in this year. But we got an event coming up that we're very excited about on April 6th at Legacy Chop House. So Legacy Chop House is at 17070 Wright Plaza. Make a call to there. The offensive line is going to be there. We've got Henry and Gunner and Teddy, Turner and Justin are going to dinner as part of our partnership with Omaha Steaks. Enjoy a delicious dinner, meet the players, take some pictures, get some autographs. So we're very excited to put on that event. Make sure you guys make a reservation. They are going very quickly. Check out HuskeyStore.com as well for all the cool gear that we've got across the Huskies merchandise line, HuskeyStore.com. We've got a lot of new stuff coming out this year. No spring game to get hyped for, but a lot of good stuff coming that way. And then finally, Underdog Fantasy, which also is part of the Hurrdat family, 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Promo code Huskies. Make sure you check that stuff out. So with that, without further ado, what we're jumping to right even before this podcast started, we are pumped to have Kenny Bell on, who is the Huskers leader in receptions and receiving yards. And as we talked about right before we jumped on, that is a record that will never be broken because everybody leaves after every year. Kenny, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's great to be here. I got to shout out Stanley Morgan, though. I'm pretty sure Stan broke all my records, didn't he?
According to your bio, you're still got, I think, receiving yards, don't you?
I might have receptions, but I think Stan got yards. I mean, Stan.
He's got yards. All right. Well, receptions. Yeah. I mean, to jump on that, man, nobody's going to play 5 years at any school.
Yeah. I think,
is that going to happen?
I win that. I think I win that by default. I think in our lifetime,
the longevity award.
I'll take it without a doubt. But I think the days of guys coming in and, redshirting at a school and then playing there for 4 years after, I think it's gone. So I'll definitely wear that one proudly, but it's one I definitely win by default.
Love it. Kenny, so we followed your career obviously throughout Nebraska, and now you're back in Nebraska. Would love to tell us what you've been up to. What are you focused on? We know you're working for Hurrdat, obviously your broadcasting career. Tell us where all the different things that they've got going on, and where do you hope to take it?
Absolutely. I had moved back in 2022 actually, because I was in IT sales and I was working for a value-added reseller. And back in October of 24, I quit that job and was just like gonna take a sabbatical, kind of just chill, gonna go snowboard, play golf. And then I talked to Sasha over at Hurrdat. I had lunch with her. She asked if I wanted to have lunch, and we had been friends for a while at that point. And she asked me if I would ever be interested at working at Hurrdat. And I was like, I mean, that was a no-brainer for me for my Big Ten network background with the content. And then I met with Bill and Chris over there, and they brought me in on the sales front as well. And it was just a perfect mixture of what I had been doing with sales prior and what I had been doing with the Big Ten network as far as content creation. I get to stay here in Nebraska, I love the Huskers and covering everything Husker sports, whether it's volleyball, soccer, football, everything. But it gives me an opportunity to dive into, Creighton, the Mavs, the Supernovas. There's just a bunch of stuff that I've always been interested in. So it was just a great opportunity for me.
So is it just like everything? Is Kenny just like the do it all? We're going to send him somewhere. Yeah. He's just going to be like, you were a pro day today. I saw you
throw him out on the streets, see what he comes up with.
Last week you were DB. You were like, you're kind of like everywhere.
I think, I'm very fortunate in the sense that I get to do a lot of stuff on the content creation side, whether it's going to be CWS and Husker Sports, obviously working with DB and Robbie and all those guys. But then I'm going to get to do fun stuff like host our clients at Supernovas games and golf outings and that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to just getting out and getting in front of everyone. This is going to be my 4th week now. So it's really just hitting the ground running and getting in front of our clients and meeting everybody and seeing where we can plant that Herd Dat flag, because we want it everywhere. So
love it. Yeah, we're proud Herd Dat podcast. Well,
Yeah.
so tell me, and I may be projecting, but this is partly me getting waxing nostalgic at what college football used to be like 3 years ago before it blew up. But a lot of it, right? So you came here, you redshirted as a freshman, you played 5 full seasons. I'd like to think the Husker fans supported you. Hopefully they did supported you in your career. But you had the opportunity to meet a ton of folks, like build a lot of valuable relationships. That was maybe part of the launching your broadcasting career. And now that you've moved back, there's a full state that is willing to support you and give you opportunities to grow, which is what college is about in a lot of ways, right? Is giving you the skills to succeed in the community to be successful. Is that kind of part of it? And do you think that we're losing that a little bit with players transferring every season?
I mean, I don't want to speak for like the entire culture, right, of college football, but yeah, in my opinion, from what I know and my experience, right, which is all I can speak to, I would say that that's very difficult to find if you're going to bounce around from school to school, whether it's 2 or 3 times. It's hard for a fan base or for yourself and the fan base to get in touch with one another, right? I think what I've been so fortunate about with Nebraska and the fans that I've always interacted with is they've supported me, and I've always tried to put in the effort in supporting them, whether it was sticking around, never saying no to photos or autographs, or whether it's being on the Team Jack alumni or the Team Jack Foundation alumni board. It's that kind of stuff that has always meant the world to me, because giving back into the community, I mean, the reward is I don't want to call it a reward, but the feeling you get back from it is tenfold here when people support you. I mean, we were talking about it. It's been 10 years since I've played ball here, 11, 15 years since I was a freshman. So the fact that I still get supported the way I do, and people come up to me and want to take pictures or just have a discussion, I'm incredibly grateful for that. And it's something I'll always be grateful for, but it's hard to say if kids will still experience that with, the climate of college football right now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's changing so unbelievably rapidly before our eyes.
Well, I will say this. I mean, you win a national championship, and
that's a good point.
You transfer in and you win a title here, and that'll change everything.
Yeah. I was thinking about that as I was watching March Madness this weekend. I was like, God, this has all changed. I barely recognize half these players. They've all transferred so much, and then like a team wins, and I'm like, no one cares.
Yeah. No.
If you make the Sweet 16, you still get a banner.
Yeah, people are gonna remember you. You got a ring. So
what you were at Pro Day? Tell us about Pro Day. You put out some good hype. You put out a couple delicious. You talked about Rayola. Rayola can spin it. We like to hear that. It's always.
I don't want to just like toot the kid's horn too much.
We do. Toot it,
please.
I mean,
toot away.
First of all, let's talk about the guys that were there to showcase their talent, right, for the NFL.
Yeah.
Isaiah Nayer, his raw talent, his speed stuck out. So it was good to see him. Jamal Banks is, one of the best route runners I've seen that we've had in a long time, definitely since Stan. Really, really good. Thomas Fidone is looking great. I'm very happy that he's starting to get some hype. I was talking about how he might fall to day 3. I'd love to see him in day 2, but the depth at that position, all 3 of those Oregon tight ends are just monsters. I watched them in the Big Ten championship, and I was like, my goodness, these kids. But it was great to see him. Ramir Johnson actually looked great today too. I was worried he might have it's really fast. He went down kind of awkwardly trying to catch a ball, and I don't know if he banged himself up or something, but I think he's fine. He looked good. But yeah, it was. And then lastly, Nash Hutmaker it's hard to like evaluate. I feel like D tackles in running 40-yard dashes and doing pop. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't translate well. But I think he's gonna get an opportunity in a camp and just make an O lineman's life miserable.
I was shocked he didn't get invited to the draft.
Really, I was too.
Yeah, combine.
And then Ty Robinson is just a freak of nature. That guy's I think he's gonna play many years.
I was laughing pretty hard at your all the boys being rocked up I think that's the phrase you used of like.
Yeah, I know.
Go.
I said that out loud, and I was like, "Oh man, that's not going to translate."
I thought it was pretty good. I guess I didn't really think about it. Like they stopped
Yeah.
playing in November, and then they just pump for. I mean, it's March. You can get some pretty good work in 90 days.
Right? Yeah, right before we even we talked about that with Avery, I was talking to Searles about it. And he's like, I remember when you came back from training from combine, and you know me, like I'm always like, I'm tall and scrawny, skinny dude. I came back from combine and I was like 210. Like all you do, is sit there and you wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast, you drink a shake, you work out, you drink a shake while you work out, you eat after that. I mean, you work out for three times a day for 2.5 months. Like you pass the eye test, that's for sure.
I love it.
What was it like going through all of that? I mean, for yourself, like what would when you reflect back, I mean, you were a 5th round pick. I mean, you stayed for 5 years in Nebraska, which is again unheard of, and developed into a 5th round pick receiver out of Nebraska, which for an option running school from back in the day, it's a pretty high draft pick for a Huskers receiver. So, I mean, what was that all like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of surreal at the time. And I'm always grateful for it. I had so much fun. It made a big difference that I had guys like Rex Burkhead and Amir Abdul in my backfield, right? Like you had to worry about those guys carrying the rock for 30 times a game for 300. So that gave me a lot of opportunities over the top. But it was, like I said, it was a little surreal. The entire process was brutal though. Like looking back on it, just the commitment to, making it. And then once you get drafted and get in camp, I mean, it's just a lot, right? Like you're talking about one of the longest years of my life, I think for a lot of guys too, like, cause we played our bowl game then. I think we played on January 1st, right? So I took like a week off, and then the next week I was in Dallas training. Then I trained, went to combine, trained more, went to pro day, and then trained up until draft day. Got drafted, and then immediately after you get drafted, you go straight to rookie mini camp. So you fly to wherever the next day. You fly to wherever you got drafted. You have rookie mini camp, and that goes straight into OTAs, and then you're, and then in the middle of the summer you'll get off for like 3-4 weeks, and then you report back early to fall camp or to training camp because you're a rookie, and then you're in training camp all the way through the season, which will end in. Hopefully you make a run at the bowl. So February, and then all this. So it's quite a year. I mean, it's a full 12 months for those guys. And I think a lot of them don't realize that right now. They're just so excited about the opportunity, which is good. Because if you're not excited about that opportunity, you get out now because the next 12 months is.
When did you see it as at what point in your career at Nebraska were you like, oh, this, I could take this to the next level?
I mean, it was always what I wanted to do. Right.
Right.
So once sophomore, junior year, when I was really we were playing ball and we were playing at a high level. And we were playing. I mean, I was really fortunate. My redshirt freshman year, I got to practice every day against Prince Amukamara and Eric Hag and Alfonso Denard. So I knew what it looked like. I knew what All-Americans looked like. So it was really fortunate. Everything just worked out really well for me in my career in terms of my teammates, even the way we played ball. I loved every minute of that. So
back on the I guess So we talked about some of the Huskers today and back on the rail of juice, but I guess I was thinking about that I keep coming back to how you played 5 years. I mean, it seems like such a novelty now that all of our wide receivers now are brand new this year. We've got some great dudes. I'm pretty excited about them. A lot, the whole receiving core, I'm excited about them. But I'm also I think about your career, how you got better every year. Like you said, right? You're getting better. You got a redshirt freshman, you can train and you can develop sophomore year. And by senior year, it's you've been here for 5 years. Talk about what you think, how do you think that'll impact timing with quarterbacks, with linemen, with anything else, finding a new system when these guys transfer every year? Or how do you think our guys will do this year as they're coming in? Your receiving core.
That's hard to say, right? Guys are capable of it, right? Because it happens in the NFL every year. So it's not I don't feel it's not impossible. But there's something certainly to be said about being in a system for a number of years and learning that, right? Because football doesn't change, right? The book doesn't change. The defenses don't change. What changes is how well you recognize and how fast you can execute what you know, right? So if you're constantly changing what you know every year, it's hard to get in that system and get comfortable in it. Yeah. But if for me, I was in a Coach Beck's system for 4 years, so I knew exactly by the time my senior year of training camp, we were going over a playbook that I had been running repeatedly for years on end. So were there small adjustments? Yeah. But I feel like that there is something to be said about learning that for sure. But is it impossible? No, I wouldn't say that, because every single team in the nation, right, is going to be dealing with that.
Yeah. So, which of the guys coming in this year are you excited about on the wide receiver side?
That's a good question. I need to do more research, because I've been locked into pro day and watching, Jamal and Isaiah and seeing how they're going to turn out. So I'm excited to watch this entire wide receiving room, right? Because we got a new coach, we got new players, and honestly, we've got a quarterback that can spin it, man. I was watching him, which was also another thing at pro day. Your quarterbacks can throw for you now. That wasn't a real thing when I was in school, right? Joe Gans threw for me at my pro day, which is
nice.
My pro day was 2015, by the way. Put that in perspective. Which Joe
7 years graduated.
Shout out to Jay Gans. He did a great job.
Well, he's like, hey, if they want to give me an offer too, I'm not ready to close it yet.
I think his arm fell off the next day. So poor guy.
He could spin it though.
He could spin it, man. But when you're at pro day and combine, it's just all right, we're doing this, then this, and then this, and then this. So it's 25 throws just back to back to back. 30 throws, and I imagine his arm was, and they're not hey, we're running slant. It's all right, we're running 15-yard dig, we're running 18-yard comeback, we're running post. So it's just
so real look good. Dane Key is the guy I'm most excited about. I guess I put so much emphasis on experience at this point.
Yeah,
I think having Barney coming back is big, but Dane Key as the senior that can come in. I mean, I think is he 5th year? Or he's at least, I'm not.
No, he was.
I like the guys who are in their late 20s.
Draft, but now he's.
I was going to say, I feel like everybody's 23 now.
I like the guys in their late 20s. That's who I like.
They all got COVID years, so some of them they're in their 8th.
Yeah. Dane Key has been employed for 4 years at a car dealership or something. But
with this culture, with the NIL, I would try and stay for 10 years if I could. My goodness.
But no kidding.
Who would have made the most on your team?
I'd imagine Amir Abdullah would have made the most. I mean, Amir was so good, and he was just he was so personable too.
Yeah,
and, he's one of the best. I mean, especially to be that good in that running back room at that time.
Yeah,
you're coming off the heels of Roy Halou and Rex Burkhead. Those are big shoes to fill.
A lot of it is branding, though. I think your fro alone. I mean, you would have gotten hair dealer or I don't know. Great clips or something would have come knocking for sure.
It would have been fun. I would have been just so obnoxious and annoying though. It would have been bad.
Been slinging. I do. Okay, so I want to go back, and so now this will be the fun part. I do want to go back to 2010, and because I was thinking a lot about having you on. I appreciate you coming on. And so we started Husk Guys in 2010.
Yeah.
And I went to college. Both Andrew and I went to Boston for college. Went to Boston College.
Oh, that's where my dad went.
Oh yeah, there we go. Look at us.
Wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, my dad played with Doug Flutie at BC. That's hilarious.
There you go. The Eags, baby.
Yeah.
So we were out there for 4 years, but when you're out there, you're a little bit disconnected. You're still diehard and focused on it. You're in college, and the 2009 season happened, and that was an unbelievable season. And I came back in 2010 and got fully immersed back in Husker football. And I remember thinking at the time that even though we were just coming off this amazing season in 2009, 2010, I was the media was ridiculously critical of the team.
I mean, 09, 10, and 11 were were rough because we lost to Texas in the Big Championship. We went out and we beat the heck in 09. We beat the heck out of Arizona, I think it was, in the Bowl.
Yep.
In 10, we lose to Oklahoma. Right, we were beating them at half. We let them come back.
17 zip.
Yeah, we lose to Oklahoma in that Big 12 championship, and then we go out and we laid an egg. I think, was it Arizona or Washington that beat us up?
Oh no, yeah,
The
we
second
beat.
game, yeah.
It was the second time we played Washington that year.
Yeah, because we
Beating the
went
hell out of them.
Washington earlier that year and
Crushed
just
them.
dragged them, and then we played them again in the bowl game, and we got beat up. And I remember that offseason, people were furious. They were really upset because we were coming off back-to-back Big 12 championship losses, and it was like, we would have never lost to like that back in the day.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it was coming back from it. I was like, oh man, the state's gonna be buzzing. We're so close. We were one second away, and that's partly where Husk Guys was born. Was I got back and guys Dirk Chatelain, who I've grown to like over the years, but at the time he was writing some ridiculously critical articles.
All those Callahan, all those
they're going crazy.
I'm not coming at those guys now. I don't like.
No, it's in the past, but
at that time it was ugly. In house it was ugly, and then in 2011 it got we poured gasoline on the fire we got blown out by Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
It was college game day. We went up there and which was brutal, right? The 2011 schedule was unbelievable, how they did us that first year in the Big Ten. But so we go up there and we're playing a Russell Wilson and Monty Ball Wisconsin team, and they boat race. Yeah. And then we come home and we're playing Braxton Miller in one of the best offenses in college football that year in Ohio State, and we're getting boat raced in half, and they booed us. Remember?
I remember. I was there.
Oh man! And
I was there.
When I say the head man, I thought his head was going to explode. He was so angry. We won that ball game, and we came in the locker room, and he wasn't even happy. He was angrier at the game and at our situation than he was, because he was in his opinion, he's what more can obviously we want to win ball games, but what more do you all want from us? We're in conference championships. We're having successful seasons.
Yeah, you're in the arena. You're there.
Yeah, I mean it's
we're rolling over. We're fighting tooth and nail. We felt
well, it's where we started Husk Guys too, because we started it with I was I'm going the opposite direction, and we were just we are going full Kool-Aid. This is the year we're gonna win every game. We're gonna be way more. I just could not believe the overall negative tone around it, and I was too young to I was 20, 22, 23. I was what is the. And I think that's one of the reasons that Husk Guys got really popular, is people were there was a certain percentage of the fan base that was gravitating more towards the optimism side, but then there was this just heavy current of negativity.
I don't want to say understandably so, but our persona as a entire unit back then, right? Was standoffish, right? We got that from our head man. Make no mistake about it. I love Bo. I respect him. I would do anything for him. But there was definitely a clash of cultures for him in terms of he didn't appreciate getting bad talked, and then at the same time trying to wave in everyone's faces, at the same people that he felt would boo him at halftime, or
Yeah.
So he didn't want to have to wear the mask, if you will, and be friendly all the time, and then also put up with, and then not be himself, when he wants to, be Bo. So,
yeah, it's just wild to think about all this in context of the modern day of where we're at.
We're
5-7, and we're
right?
you got booed off the field for being 8-1. What were you doing?
and then it got way worse because T.O. retired, right, and they brought in Eichhorst, and that relationship was just it was it felt like it was clear that they were bringing in Eichhorst to fire Bo.
Yeah, so the Grim Reaper.
The hatches went up in our facility. So it was a weird time where we felt like we were just fighting our tails off, but just swimming upstream,
Yeah. What was what do you remember about the end of the era? I mean, did you guys have this? Did you know it was going to happen? I mean, did you feel like the writing was on the wall, or did you?
Oh, so that was the crazy part. So we were 8-1, right? Then we lose to Minnesota. And we're dang, that's a bad loss. But
that was tough. We were there.
That was so cold.
That was a bad loss, right? I don't remember. I was very concussed. I've got no recollection of the game.
Oh yeah, shit. That's right.
It was senior.
Oh man, that was also devastating. That's like when the game ended for me. I was like, oh god, just mail it in.
It was senior day. I had like 40 people in town, family and friends. No recollection of the entire weekend. I think I caught like a post and got like dragged down, hit my head.
Terminal brain damage. It's fine.
Yeah. Like anyway, I'm fine, doing great.
It's
really
fine.
But yeah, we lost that one. But the next weekend, we were like, okay, we have Iowa on the road. We beat Iowa. Like we'll be all right, right? Like, so we beat Iowa. And we 100% thought we saved Bo's job with that win, the OT win.
You caught the ball. That was your game winner.
Yeah. And then the next morning, we woke up to an email at like 6 a.m. that they had fired Bo, and that we had a meeting. That we had a meeting at like 8 a.m. And that meeting was tense, to say the least.
Yeah.
Did that give you guys like
we never saw Bo. We never saw Bo again. I mean, obviously he called our like players only meeting. But that was not the school. That was not school approved or anything like that. You know what I mean? We all showed up to see him. But
how did you guys like make sense of it? Like, I mean, I guess as a young guy, I would have been like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. So, whatever. But
for me, I was right. Like I was graduated and I was going to the league, right? So I had to play a bowl game and I was going to be out of there. But guys like I feel like Nate Gary, Tommy, Jordan Westerkamp, like those guys were in for a complete culture shift when it came from Bo to Mike Riley. Yeah. Right? Like you talk about polar opposites. So yeah, I mean, you talk about polar opposites, and I love Coach Riley. He's a very nice man. But yeah, I couldn't imagine my junior year being Bo and then my senior year being Coach Riley. Like it's just such a shift.
On that, I mean, it ended poorly, but like as again, this is a lot of this is in hindsight, and I guess I'll ask two questions. One, do you think fans, I'm sure there's plenty that were tough on you in media. Like I said, I thought it was irrationally tough, but now that there's 10 years later and we had this like drought, question one is, have fans, I don't know, do they look more fondly on it now that you won 9 games every single year you played, as opposed to then? Like, do you think that they've warmed up a little bit because we just don't win 9 games anymore?
I think it's like two parts, right? Like, I think yes, for the most part, like, because I think rational fans, even reasonable fans, then even throughout the past 4 years or a couple of years, were like, yeah, your era of football was good. I'm not going to hang my hat on and say we were great. We weren't world beaters. We had some great football players, some phenomenal Huskers that wore the jersey during my time, right? Like Amir Abdullah, Rex, Sue, shoot. I mean, the list of guys that balled for us.
You better say Will Compton, or he's going
to obviously the Will Compton, obviously, the one and only. But like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're one of the greatest teams in Husker history or anything like that. But I think there's definitely room for us to be. We weren't a bad football team, right? Like we went out there and played good football. We played hard-nosed football. You weren't going to just like roll it out there and just beat us up. We played smash-mouth football with some of the best teams in the country. But I think it has certainly changed a lot of people's attitudes, and not that we're cheering. Like, I would never cheer for us to lose games so our era could look better. I think people are just starting to realize how hard it is to win a football game, right? Like, it's not I think the average, I don't want to say the average fan, but people that don't know the sacrifice that it takes to win. I mean, to have a successful program, it takes a collective effort, especially in now's era, right, where it's the NIL and the money that needs to be raised. Like, it takes a collective effort to be great in all areas, in all aspects, and it's not going to get easier. So,
second part of that question, though. So, when you were good, you were unbelievable. That was some of my favorite offenses were those the early T Magic, like, burst onto the scene days. The Tommy Armstrong like YOLO balls that he'd throw, like when he was dialed in. Let me ask you this question, because here's what I thought. When we went from the Big 12 to the Big 10, I thought we were just going to win the Big 10 every year. I was just like, this team is unbelievably good. Man. And I just didn't think the Big 10 was any good.
Me too.
And so what did you think about that shift? You thought, I mean, I was just like, we're going to, and we did. In 2012, I was like, oh, we rolled everybody. I was like, this team, we're going to win the Big 10 every year.
Yeah. So it was tough because the culture change fit our brand of football so well, right? Because like when we were in the Big 12, even to this day, it was like it felt like you have to go out there and score 35, 40 a game. And that's not really what our offense was tailor-made to do, even in that era, right? Like, so it felt like going to the Big 10 was really going to be advantageous for us. But I mean, to this day, Big 10 football is just different, man. Like you beat the heck out of each other for 10 weeks. I mean, even you go up and you play Northwestern, those guys, Wisconsin, I mean, everybody is just like 4 quarters, 3, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. And like, it's great football. I love it, but it's also after 8 to 9 to 10 weeks, it's brutal. But I think that played a big difference in it because I thought we were going to go up there and start to roll because I thought it fit our brand of football well. But once we got into it at that time, especially during that era of Big 10 football, right? How good Wisconsin was, how good Sparty was. Sparty was a powerhouse on the defensive side. They had a top 10 defense every single year. Michigan, same thing. I mean, those ball clubs were good. So looking back on it, and it's crazy to look back then compared to now and how good the teams are now. You talk about like Illinois, Indiana, like those teams are that it'd be a nightmare to face. I mean, Purdue's been hanging in on people in the past couple of years. So that's what's kind of beautiful about the transfer portal too, is it gives a lot of a lot of different organizations a chance to be great. But it also makes winning that much more difficult.
Yeah.
Do you like the direction that college football is going?
I just like sound like an old guy now because I'm gonna say like I'll just say like no, I don't personally. And it's because of my experience and what I know and what I love. I like just being a Nebraska guy means something to me. Like that means more than something. It means everything to me. You know, it was like my identity for until right now, you know. I'm a Husker.
It is again. You're a Nebraska guy again.
Yeah, so I'm a Husker, and it's weird to think, especially like when I was in the NFL, like and just in general, like thinking, oh, he's a Michigan guy, or he's a Wisconsin guy, he's an SC guy. Like that's just kind of fading, and thinking about that is kind of blows my mind. So no, I don't like it. However, like I won't say that the product is worse, right? Like the level of play in the college level right now is the best we've ever seen. So I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take that away from them by any means. The kids are playing. They're better athletes. They're playing faster. They're making better plays, just in my opinion. So I won't ever take that away from them. However, I don't love the culture of the game or the state of the game currently.
It's something I thought about the other day, just like a random aside too, is, you know, like you used to, when you committed, it was like, I mean, you had to kind of love that place where you're going because it was a fairly permanent thing. You had to take a whole year off if you were going to transfer. Like that was a big deal.
And you lost, not only you have to take a year off, but you lost that year of eligibility too, remember?
Yeah. So you really wanted out.
Yeah. Like if you transferred, I mean, you wanted out.
So I was like thinking of it from a fan perspective now too. Like imagine if I was just like, I'm putting myself in the portal, I'm going to a new team, and then like your whole identity, it doesn't just like change. Like people
I'll go to Utah State.
Like that's right. I'm changing hats, I'm changing wardrobe. Like people are like, you're a Nebraska guy. Like, like you don't just get to change your identity and stuff. And so then you get these young guys that like, do they ever really truly have that identity? I don't know.
I just worry about really just like what kind of life lessons, you know, because I always thought of, and this is as I've gotten older, right? I didn't realize it at the time, but just how much football is a microcosm of life. And that discipline, that commitment, that loyalty, you know, that's stuff that just, when you're in a part of that, a brotherhood like that every single day, and you're a part of a team like that, it just means something to it and just becomes of who you are, a part of who you are. And that's a big reason I love working at Her Dat so much. It's like, I feel like I'm back a part of a team, you know, and it's something bigger than myself. I can't speak on if guys feel that way or what kind of lessons they're learning now because I'm not in it. Right. and we won't be able to tell for years down the road. But that is something that I worry about. It's like that losing out on that team aspect and that, those togetherness and those learning curves. So,
yeah, I think again, with kind of where we started the hour of like we're big recruiting nerds. We follow recruiting very closely, but it's so dramatically different now that, you're a good example of that, where we followed your high school tape in 2008 and 2009, followed you in Colorado. And then we got 5 years. I mean, over that time, you really developed this almost relationship following the player. That's 7 seasons that we essentially followed you from your junior year through.
Yeah. It was when I was like 16, 12.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it's kind of weird because like
we really get to know a guy pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like I know you pretty well because I've been watching your high school film. But but I mean that example. I mean, it's like I love Dante Dowdell.
Yeah,
he was on campus like for 90 days. It's like he was great. Like, I'll celebrate his praises. I thought he was a great running back, but like he was truly here 90 days. It was
like you want to get excited about guys, but it's like, well, if they can just leave at any time, it's hard.
I mean, he showed up, he was awesome, and then he left in like November 1st, and you're like, all right, where did he go? Like he's gone.
It's hard to invest in guys when like it doesn't feel like they're investing back, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to think it'll normalize a little bit. Like I feel like contracts are on the horizon or something, like 2 to 3 year contracts.
They have to reel it in, right? And I'm not a sports specialist on the topic, so it's above my pay grade. But there's certainly people that know that are professionals in that area that would have good ideas on how to cap that and how to reel stuff in, because it is, man, it's starting to get, and I'm an advocate for these kids, right? Like I want them to make money. I want them to be able to use their name, image, and likeness. No, they should be able to take their girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever out to nice dinners and all those things. But like, I don't know if they don't need to be driving like Lamborghinis and stuff. Like, I'm not a hater. Like the money is there. Like, or like if that kind of money is being doled out, like if they could put it in some kind of fund that that it'll accumulate and then they can access later in life. But at 22 years old, man, you don't just need like 2 Lexuses, a big chain, just like
it'd be sweet though. It'd be sweet though.
Just like calm down, let's reel it in and make reasonable decisions. That's all.
Do you think Rule has a pretty good grasp on all that?
Yeah, I think Coach Rule is the man. Like I've got the utmost faith in Coach Rule. I think he truly understands how to run a successful program, and he did it at an NFL level in the sense that he knows like how to plug it and play with guys, if that makes sense. Because he's dealing with free agents that are coming in, and that recruiting process is completely changed. I think he's going to benefit from that with his NFL background, right? I think with guys that have been in college their entire coaching career, that hurts, right? Because you're used to hitting the recruiting path and having to recruit a completely different way. So I think we have an advantage with that with Rule, and I think we've got a guy that understands that overall outlook of the culture of college football and is an advocate for the next steps for it. So,
yeah, he's mentioned the same thing. I mean, even like in talking like contract-based stuff and like kind of the next level, and then Nebraska's going to be spending $20+ million a year on our roster and whatever. And I mean, like that's. So you've got to try and like just lock people in to a location and a place. You think that he's going to be like, I mean, he's an old school guy, but I feel like he's just peripherally have like got a pretty good grasp for the future as well. I mean, is that kind of the same sense that you're getting as far as he's got to be the one that takes us to the next era?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that. I think with all of our coaching staff, right, like football, basketball, and volleyball, like our 3 big ones, I think we've got knockouts as coaches, and as long as we can keep them here and give them the tools that they need, they can be successful here, right? Yeah. So I'm really excited. I 100% think he's the guy, because I do believe that he has the vision, right? Like he's of our past 4 coaches, right, and Bo included. He just checks all the boxes in terms of football IQ and just the relationship with the community. Coach Rule is as good as it gets. So I'm excited to see, but we have to support him, right? Like we can't have a few bad ones and then freak out. So
I think he's got. I mean, he's got like. I feel like the tone and again, I keep coming back to this like 2010 through 2012. How the temperature was so freaking high,
right,
in Husker land, like that. I feel like he's got this a little bit more of a pass after like Frost and after Riley, where like there's a little kid glove action happening. I think he's going to get the time. I'd like to think so. It's just not like, I mean, Rule, like I keep coming back to like Pelini year 3. It was like the temperature was through the roof. I was like, I cannot believe how hot this guy's is after like 3 years.
And 3 years, and 2 of them were in the Big 12 championship.
2 of them were title years.
2 of them were title runs.
Yeah.
Freaking glory days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
but yeah, I think that goes back to like why we were the way we were, right? Like expectations were so high. We were all like uptight, like, and standoffish, you know what I mean? So when you give him space and you give him opportunities and you know that, then he knows that like he has support, not only him, that'll cascade through the entire organization, right? And that lets guys cut loose and play their best ball. Because I'll tell you right now, I didn't play my best ball when I was like, oh God, we're down 10 to Northwestern. Like we need to catch a Hail Mary to win the game. Like that's not when you play your best ball. You play your best ball when you're like, all right, let's go out here and kick these dudes. But
I will say that. I mean, I was kind of running through all your rosters from the years you played. Like, you had a huge collection of personalities and also professionals. I think for as sort of I was going down like that. I would consider you, Will Compton, as like the higher level personalities that really shone through the whole time. But then like professional wise, like, I mean, Amir was world class. Like I always thought Levante David carried himself really well. I thought like all those guys, Prince and Rex and Al Henry and like, I mean, nice. It was you guys were like professional adults, like almost like while you were there. Do you think that? And now I look at like where those guys, I mean, all these guys I'm listing are 10 years later.
Yeah,
lots still in the NFL, but all still carrying themselves really well. Like, did you know at the time you guys had something special in that regard?
We had no idea. I honestly think we were all Pelini guys, right? And I'm not trying to take away from any other era or anything, but there's and we're all still close to this day. I mean, if you see any of the guys from my era, we see each other. Like we're very close to get. I think they recruited a certain type of guy that they knew, kind of like one that was a little bit undying loyalty, and they also knew that every one of us was a little bit off, right? Like they picked guys that were good guys, like not, but like a little bit crazy. So they definitely had a persona that they went after. And honestly, if you didn't, like back when I think about like on our team, if you were to come in our locker room and say you were transferring somewhere to go play, we would have laughed at you. Yeah, we would have been like, you're not good enough to play here. You don't play. Like we don't. We've been like, bet we'll see you in the fall.
Fine.
Yeah, I hope you wear your luck. Like, yeah. So thinking about how much that has changed, like I would have never walked into my locker room back then and been like, hey guys, I'm gonna go strap it on for Oregon State. No, absolutely not. So it's crazy thinking about that, but they certainly recruited a certain type of guy, and I think that just permeated throughout our entire team. It really did.
Love it, man. Andrew, you got any final questions? I want to be respectful of Kenny's time here. You got one more for him?
Well, I would say one of the number one questions. I actually asked. I'm randomly friends with Sean Fisher, one of your pals from back in the day. Dr. Sean Fisher, excuse me. He's a plastic surgeon now. Yeah. Excuse me. He said his number one question for you is if you are still in touch with the Wisconsin player that you killed.
So what's Dr. Fish? I love that dude. First of all, what a guy. Like Fish was. I was really young when Fish was like his senior. I want to say that was like 2010, 2011 when Fish was playing. Love that dude. Yeah. I have talked to him, and it's funny. A small world. Josh Mitchell, the corner that played, was a senior with me.
Of course.
He played with that dude. Devin is his name. They played together on the same CFL team, and like, that clip got brought up on their Canadian team, and they found out it was Devin, and then they were like hanging pictures of that hit on that dude's like his locker the entire season. It was messed up. I felt bad, dude.
I mean, I do have to ask you about it because, like, I mean, it's the funniest thing circumstantially. Like, we're down by 100, and like the wheels were off.
Yeah,
but it was the single best block in like Husker history, but also it was a flag, and like it was not a flag.
Yeah,
and it was like one of the best plays ever in the worst game ever.
The worst
like
game.
What? Like, I just walk me through it real quick. Like, what was going through your head in the moments before that hit?
Honestly, so the play was, we ran Dino, so it was like double post, and I was supposed to be clearing out that side, but we were down like 40, and I was being lazy because I'm and Jamal caught the over, and the dude was kind of like, the guy was going to make the tackle. And for some reason, my guy was just like not paying attention. So I just cracked back on the dude, which is like, it was at that time, it was a perfectly normal play. Like, there was no rules about defensive players or crackbacks or none of that. And I just caught him, man. When I hit him, I didn't even feel it. Like, I caught him. It was one of those ones where it just like his feet, I think, were off the ground, and everyone got, like, the whole stadium went. It was one of those ones where when you're playing ball, like, you don't hear anything really. Everything's real silent. But like when plays stop, you hear a lot. It was one of those ones that plays stopped and everyone was still real silent. so it was bad. But we had to take a break because he was snoring, like he was out cold. Bielema came from across the field. Was like, kick him out. He's a dirty player. Kick him out.
Oh my God.
Which is like, this was just such a ridiculous statement. Like, a dirty play. Like, I would never play ball to hurt anybody. It was just one of those like bang bangs. Like, I wasn't trying to kill the dude.
Yeah.
Man. Probably felt good though, being down that many points, to just be like, I'm just gonna lace way up.
At the same time, I would trade all that for, like, I would trade every career accolade I have for like those 09, 10, and 12 conference championships, right? Like, so
that's right. I think that block sort of does a disservice to you a little bit, because we bring it back up too, so it's our fault too. Like, hand up, we play that replay very frequently. But it's like, I mean, we watched 10 minutes of YouTube clips earlier today. Like, I don't know, there's probably like 200 other great highlights that were actually in wins, in like, the Penn State return, the Minnesota touchdown, the one hand. I mean, there's all these other ones, and then like that one comes up. And everyone gets so pissed. They're like, "We lost that game." I'm like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have put that one up there."
That one always gets brought up to me, but it wouldn't make my like top 5 favorite plays. Like, it was cool, and I'm very thankful that people remember me for it. Definitely is. It's why the defensive player rule exists in college football now. Like, the next year was when they introduced that.
My favorite ever was the Illinois yellow bomb from. It's like 70 yards in the air.
When I hugged the ref after that one.
Hugged the ref. Absolute, like.
Which also was just the most. I should have gotten a personal foul. The fact that they did not flag. You are not supposed to touch a referee. Yeah, I just gave him a hug.
Tommy's ability to just absolutely missile launch when he wanted to.
That play is the best ball that Tommy, I think, ever threw me, like, in game. That thing is just a butter, like, because they brought a corner blitz and they tried to one-on-one me with the safety, and Tommy just drops and just
a missile.
just let it fly.
Tommy goes, he like cocks that back, like, oh my goodness.
I started watching his beef highlights because I was just like, this guy he could still sling it. He could still go.
He led the beef to 2 undefeated seasons back to back. MVP, retired on top, stud.
Awesome.
He used to play with so much swag too. I mean, like,
he was a dog, man. That dude wanted to win.
I mean, so many of the personalities on those teams. Like, I look back fondly just with like the swagger that those teams had, and you had a play once too that you jumped over the fence after you had.
I was like, with
the crowd on.
Yeah, man.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. These
we had fun, man. Thinking about like guys like Randy Gregory and that D line back then, like Jared Crick and like Pierre Allen and all those guys. Man, we used to get after it. It was fun.
That's good, Kenny. We appreciate you coming on, man. Make sure everybody check out Afro Thunder on Twitter. Anywhere else that they should check you out.
Twitter, Instagram, that's all good. Yeah.
Check him out. Make sure you guys follow him across Herd at Sports as he covers all the major sports for Creighton and Nebraska. Supernovas across the board. Kenny, thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate you guys having me, man. Really do.
All right, go Huskers.
Go Big Red.